10 mistakes everybody missed in Money Heist. Among the popular shows watched worldwide is none other than the recent resurfaces phenomenon, Money Heist. A Spanish heist crime drama series first aired in 2017 on the Spanish network Antena 3. The series is narrated by Tokyo, a bank robber in search of a hideout from the police, being recruited by a man who goes by the name of the Professor. He invites her to participate in his plan to rob the Royal Mint of Spain and walk away with 2.4 billion euros, accompanied by 7 other robbers, namely Berlin, Rio, Denver, Moscow, Oslo, Helsinki, and Nairobi. With a growing fan base worldwide, it has its audiences glued to their seats. The building tension, the nail-biting suspense, the blooming romance between characters, and the buzzing action has fans addicted to the show. It has managed to garner a large number of viewers and is one of the top 3 most streamed shows on Netflix. It is highly popular in Italy, Argentina, France, Portugal, and Brazil. But no matter how good a show is, there are some mistakes that the audience members pick up before the production crew. However small, these errors are still there. Let's look at the top 10 mistakes everybody missed in Money Heist. But before we begin, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so that you don't miss out on anything. Alright, now let's begin. Number 1. The junkyard owner and the sketch. The frenzy and exhaustion of catching the robbers keeps increasing among the police each day. However, in the 6th episode of the first season, when the police finally think they have a lead, the junkyard owner who claims to have seen the professor, it slips right through their fingers. The junkyard owner sits down with a police officer to draw the professor's sketch, but when he is threatened by the professor through a transmission in Russian, he proceeds to erase the almost complete sketch, and surprisingly, the force doesn't even try to get it back. They storm at him and tell him to leave. Having a crucial witness against the mastermind behind one of the biggest heists the country has ever seen, and letting him go because he claims to know nothing, even after almost completing the sketch, does not make sense. Some fans on Reddit even joked about how dumb the officers were when they didn't even try Ctrl-Z to retrieve the deleted sketch. Number 2. The plethora of jokers flooding the hospital. In the 12th episode of Part 2, when the police set up a trap for the professor by luring him into the hospital that Angel has now awakened from his coma, the professor, whose fate now lies in the hands of Angel's consciousness, needs to confirm the news. But since he's a highly suspected fugitive, he hires dozens of people dressed as clowns to create a diversion for his investigation. Where did he even find this number of people who showed up in clown costumes for an acting audition at a hospital? And even when he makes it there, he walks towards the desired room unsuspected, uninterrupted while other clowns are being pushed away. While things were going haywire for the officers deployed there, everything seemed to be folding smoothly out for the professor as though walking in a park. Number 3. Poor aiming shots for trained professionals. It's one thing to show a character smarter than the police. That's justified and possible. But what appalls me is the fact that these very ordinary robbers, aside from their skills, more than half of them have never had the experience of a battlefield, much less a firing situation. But by some miracle, they're a perfect match for the trained forces opposite to them. When Denver takes Moscow to the roof, along with hostages disguised in the same attire, he hands a fake gun to Arturo, and the police fire at him, mistaking him for one of the robbers. Reading from Arturo's body language and the way he held the gun would have been enough for professional profilers to know that he wasn't one of the robbers. But they fire at him anyway, and even when he faces a professional firing squad that fires multiple times intending to kill him, he manages to only be hit by 1 bullet on his shoulder, not even in the chest or his heart. Secondly, when Tokyo heroically rides racing into the mint without a cover, not 1 bullet manages to hit her. Thirdly, while escaping, they face an army, which is 10 times more skilled than the police officers. Still, don't injure any of the members until Berlin willingly gives himself up. Number 4. Raquel's love for the professor. Even though the cop eventually joins the gang, her character was a disappointment throughout the first and second parts. Officers assigned to such a case must be skilled and highly professional. Not to mention that they fully understand that the cases are confidential until their exposure to the media. She willingly shares her updates with her new love interest, which she's only met a few weeks ago, sharing very intricate details. Moreover, even after she discovers the real identity of her boyfriend Salva, instead of arresting him immediately and taking him to the precinct, She drives away from the city with him to interrogate him, as a way to justify her guilty feelings. She even makes him take a polygraph, which has quite an impact on her. She compromises and sabotages the investigation of the case by letting him go anyway. Number 5. The escape tunnel was dug too late. If the professor had intended for them to escape through a tunnel, why didn't they start digging right away? This would have bought them more time to escape. The crew plans for the heist for about 5 months, but how can they not focus on the escape route? What they could have done beforehand was dig from the professor's side. Having dug that further, it would have been easier from the Mint's side. The reveal of the tunnel was a catalyst for suspense and assuring the safe route for the fans' beloved characters. Although, if they'd have done the digging from day one, they wouldn't have needed the hostages to move their money to their escape vault, leaving them completely oblivious, and the police would have had to look around for themselves. Secondly, they should have bombarded the stairs leading to the escape vault. All the more ways to slow down the forces from getting them and providing them with an efficient amount of time. Number 6. The handcuffs on Gandia were open. This was a directing mistake. While filming a scene in Part 4's Episode 3, when Palermo beats up Gandia in sheer anger, Gandia's handcuffs weren't even closed. Although these mistakes can only be seen if you have a very keen eye, or you just happen to pause the episode right on that clip, or if you love to watch in very slow motion. We see Palermo blatantly beat Gandia until Nairobi yells at Denver to stop him. The screen then shows a bloody Gandia, whose hands are tied to a handle and cuffed. While there's one scene where his hands are perfectly secure, the other scene shows his handcuffs coming off loose as Palermo strikes him with his cane. Number 7. Gandia being superhuman. Okay, if we take in the fact that Gandia was a highly trained individual having the experience of a lifetime, working with black ops, etc., how is it possible for him to escape each time unharmed and uninjured? The first time he escapes with the help of Palermo by dislocating his wrists, he is not affected in the aftermath and continues his advances towards the team easily. After being discovered by the team, he is chased down by them, and bullets are fired towards him multiple times and not one strikes him. Fans on Reddit were furious at how he was exposed completely and in the gang's range of fire, but not one bullet hit him. Moreover, how can a skilled assassin not know how to escape handcuffs or dislocate his wrists? Number 8. The main asset is not contributing to the plot. When you think of the robbers having an upper hand against the state in Season 4, you probably thought that the initial episodes that it must be the governor, but ironically the robbers never played this card. They spend a whole episode looking for the hidden panic room, but not one of them suggests asking the governor themselves. The governor sat there being useless. If anyone on the team had even looked at him, it would have dawned on them to use him against Gandia, who ended up killing Nairobi. Number 9. Palermo claiming his love for the plan, but messing it up. In flashbacks when Berlin, Professor, and Palermo discuss the plan, he swears his love for it and his dedication to the plan. He even says that he would betray the Professor, but not their heist mission. But when the team entrusts him with the hostages, he, like a little idiot, focused on his petty issues with the team, lets the man loose, who is most likely to endanger their mission. It wasn't like Gandia was begging to be released. Palermo acted on his nerves and let him go, consequently sabotaging the whole plan he was so in love with. Tell us in the comments section if you noted this plot hole as well in Season 4 of the show. Number 10. The burning question of Tokyo's age. Though it is clear from the physical appearance that Tokyo is more than a decade older than Rio, who is just 19 years old, controversy in the dialogue has led to confusion. In the first episode, it was shown that Tokyo is almost 12 years older than Ryu, but in further episodes, while talking to Berlin, Ryu is reminded that his girlfriend is almost 15 years older than him. Now that's a huge mistake that most failed to notice. The writers aren't even sure of Tokyo's age, which is kind of funny. I hope Rio is not as confused as I am right now. These are some of the plot holes and direction faults. Some fans find themselves pulling back, however more and more people are being drawn towards. With the release of Season 4 in April this year, social media is flooded with Money Heist content. Aside from a few blank spots and loopholes, it is one of the best shows on Netflix and has a dedicated fan base. This brings us to the end of our video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Well, if you haven't liked the video yet, it's never too late. Give it a thumbs up, people. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel because we got tons of amazing videos coming. We'll see you in another video. Until then, take care and goodbye.